Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and this is how to use Omastar. Omastar, wow, those stats, you look at it and suddenly you don't see a 115 special attack Pokemon with really good defense as well. Now, all the other stats are kind of but overall, we have a good amount of defense and a good amount of special attack to work with. It's a rock-water type as well, which means we're actually starting to see something that gives you a lot more resistances. Well, not a lot more, but at least more resistances than weaknesses. You are 4 times weak against grass, so try to avoid that as much as possible. You also have weakness to electric, ground, and fighting, but overall, not too bad. Let's hop into Pokemon Showdown, and then we see why Omastar is so good. Because it's going to be a Focus Sash Pokemon that uses Shell Smash. You don't really need to worry about anything else at that point. What you need to do is just get that 252 speed, 252 special attack, modest nature, use that Shell Smash, your special attack goes up by 2, your speed doubles as well, and now you can just kind of go and ruin your opponent's day with an incredibly high amount of special attack. I personally like the Focus Sash on this because what I want to do is I want to make sure I get my Shell Smash Pokemon Shell Smash. I don't care if I have a lot of defense. Even if I get hit by a super effective attack, could still be a problem, so I want to make sure I get to that point where I outspeed my opponent. I get to that point where I can survive the Shell Smash, and if Focus Sash doesn't break, I'd rather be safe than sorry. After that, you can follow it up with some really good coverage. That's Scald. That's going to hit pretty hard and have that chance to burn. You can also just say screw it and go with the Surf. Surf is going to provide you a bit more damage, and it's also just going to be that extra damage that's getting a lot of Shell Smash boost, stab boost. It's just going to be extra all around. Ice Beam for coverage. Ancient Power is also going to provide stab and coverage. And between all this, you're going to hit pretty hard with that very high amount of special attack. So you shouldn't have to worry. That's going to be, if Omastar gets set up, it's going to be quite a few KOs. Sometimes your opponent just can't stop it. It can sweep 6-0. It can go full hardcore Pokemon right there. Also, you can run it with the White Herb. If you do that, you have to make some compromises, honestly, that you're not going to be the super outspeedy beast because you're trying to survive. So you want to maybe set up on a defensive Pokemon. If not, that's why I have the hit point investment. So you can survive some special attacks. Then again, it's going to be high amount of special attack and a high amount of speed. Also, if you want to sacrifice even more, you can cut back on the special attack and go for the speed, and then that's just going to make it to where White Herb is going to not lower your defenses, so you have a chance of surviving 2 or 3 hits while still being this super crazy setup Pokemon. Again, same moveset, different idea, just to try to support that White Herb as much as possible. If you do it against a physical Pokemon, excellent. Special attackers are going to be the problem here, and a lot of them are going to hit you super effective, which could be even more problem. After that, I was also thinking that you could use it as a setup Pokemon instead of a sweeping kind of Pokemon, that you use Shell Smash with that Focus Sash, and now you have pretty much outspeed on your opponent to set up Stealth Rock, Spikes, or go for some kind of Scald with attacks. That if you can predict your opponent's going to do something to set up, like if they're throwing a Stealth Rock, if they're going to be trying to boost their own stats, well, that's when you can return a Stealth Rock and then go into sweep mode with Scald. You can also have Spikes here or Ice Beam, whatever you feel like doing. I just like this idea because instead of using Focus Sash to set up a Stealth Rock on an Omastar, you're using Shell Smash, and then you have your options from there. Did they attack you? Is your Focus Sash procced? Yes, go for attacks. No? Throw out that Stealth Rock. So it's kind of like this one, except Ancient Power is Stealth Rocks. It's kind of taking away extra coverage for sweeping potential to give you an extra option or two. That can work as well. Then we also just have Swift Swim, that Omastar Swift Swim Pokemon. If Weather's Rain Dance speed is doubled, well, that means we can just set it up in a Rain Team, either in singles or doubles. That I was thinking, like, if you could get it to work, you have some other options here that this wouldn't be a moveset. Like, if you don't like Blizzard, Ice Beam, if you don't like Hydro Pump, Scald, I'm just showing the high base power moves work really well. Blizzard could be very strong in doubles. Earth Power is another ground option if you want to use it. Ancient Power for that stab as well. This can work in singles or doubles. It's going to be the same regardless, that max special attack, max speed, modest nature, outspeed everything. Life Orb obliterates the opponents, and the reason why you might want the higher base damage moves here is because you're losing out on that ×2 from your special attack getting boosted by the Shell Smash, and you're only getting 30% back on the Life Orb, so every little bit of damage might matter if you want to play that riskier game. But while Swift Swim is up, you're going to be incredibly fast, have a lot of power, and just be able to overrun your opponent without having to worry about getting a Shell Smash set up. And then there's also just tankier ideas, that it's going to be a very good physical wall. At 344 hit points, 383 defense, yeah, give it leftovers and go for any kind of crazy setup with Whirlpool, Stealth Rock, Spikes, and Haze. That way you can Whirlpool them in, trap them in as a physical Pokemon, set up Stealth Rocks, set up Spikes. If they're trying to also get some form of setup, you can use Haze. It's pretty crazy what you can do against a physical Pokemon like that, and it can work out pretty well. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's how you use Omastar.